Hello everyone. Welcome in. Hi Exy, hi Ren. How are you guys doing today? Alright, we're in the game. Let's get into it then. I already played 3 cases on my own. But I figured I could just stream the 4th one. They're pretty much independent of each other, so I don't think there is an overall plot line. So yeah, let's just hop right into it.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Is it a little quiet? I think I should turn it up a little more. I have to like alt tab out of it every time because there's no borderless option. It's kind of annoying. But this game is a little older. But yeah.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Okay, that sounds better. Which taper though? This taper? Yes.
I can tell from Lestrade's handwriting that he was in a hurry when he wrote this letter.
Damn, really? It looks pretty good to me.
The Brackenstall family coat of arms.
Brackenstall.
A wax seal with the monogram E.B.
Okay. My dear Mr. Holmes, I should be very glad of your immediate assistance in what promises to be a most remarkable case. It is something quite in your line. Except for releasing the lady, I will see that everything is kept exactly as I have found it, but I beg you not to lose an instant, as it is difficult to leave Sir Eustace here. There. Yours faithfully, Inspector Lestrade. Okay.
So, what is it, Holmes?
Promising, as always. It appears to be a case of murder.
So you believe that Sir Eustace is dead?
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man. These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the E.B. monogram, their coat of arms. The crime was committed before midnight.
Holmes, how can you possibly tell?
Well, it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter at 3:30 in the morning. Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It makes sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime. Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
I love how he's reading the Crime and Punishment book.
Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but perhaps I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses, and she has given so clear an account of the affair that there is not much left for us to do. You remember that Lewisham gang of burglars?
What, the 3 Randalls?
Exactly. The father and 2 sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall is dead, then?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
His
Yes,
poker?
the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair. But I think that you would best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid, Teresa Wright.
Right.
Where is the body of the deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched anything.
All right, I'm going to examine it.
Very good, Watson.
Phoenix right in my Sherlock game.
Lady Brackenstall awaits you in the morning room.
Baron Lyndon Brackenstall.
Okay. Quite a fine fella.
Lord Ramsay Brackenstall.
Yeah, they look quite... Oh,
Lord Brigham Brackenstall. Sir Warthen Brackenstall. Lord George Brackenstall. The Brackenstall family seems rather austere.
yeah, I know what austere means.
Ladies, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
Okay. Fresh bruises. Pale cheeks. Gold brooch. Australian. Elegant dress. Old bruises. Probably from her husband. And the ring.
You mentioned that your marriage was not a happy one. Was there anything specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
Your bruises. Tell me otherwise.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband caused those bruises?
Oh, do you? Yes, he did. He was very angry at the time. Out of control. Again. Sir Eustace was a drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Mm-hmm. You're just giving a motive right now. You do know that, right?
Can you describe to me the events?
Not
of
like I can
yesterday
blame her
evening?
though.
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw 2 others. One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had heard them, for he was holding his stick. But they were 3, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
Did these 3 villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard, but you can see for yourself in the dining room.
Your ladyship?
Your ladyship.
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir.
Let's look at you first. Wrinkles. Working hands. Handkerchief. Vinegar smell versus something. Caring. Coffee stain.
As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw 3 men in the moonlight down by the lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. Oh, if I'd known.
And then?
I went to bed, and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream. And down I ran, to find her tied to the chair and him on the floor with his head smashed. That's all I know.
Okay. Family business booming. The Randall gang is back on the street. Less than a fortnight ago, this infamous family of burglars, the Randalls as they are known, made their reappearance by way of a brutal but successful intrusion into one of the wealthier homes in Sydenham. The police are already on their trail, however the details of the crime are being kept confidential, including that of the name of the victim. A witness was able to provide a precise description of all 3 men, and this will surely give the police a chance to complete their profile on this family of delinquents. We would take the liberty of reminding our esteemed readers about this highly dangerous band, and to provide the full description as it is available at this moment. The gang has been in business for some considerable time, being a family of 3, a father and his 2 sons. The elder, Jack Randall, is a man in his 40s and already grey-haired, while of average height and build. Being the mastermind behind the burglaries, he retains control over his sons, both of whom are close in age, but very different in appearance. The first son, William Randall, is a tall and broad-shouldered, with a small, disproportionate head. The younger brother, Melvin Randall, is of a somewhat weaker constitution and is as skinny as a rake. The gang is wanted not only for their frequent thefts and break-ins, but for the exceptionally brutal pirate career they enjoyed before returning to England. Be alert and may your valuables stay safe. Okay. Oh, wrong one.
The description of the Randall gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article.
Where? Huh. Is there a coffee stain? Oh.
These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame.
Isn't that interesting?
A trapper's hut.
A safe.
This is Sir Eustace's safe. There may be something important inside. I must ask Lady Brackenstall to open it. This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one? So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
We just stole the picture. Yeah. It's kind of rude. No, Ronald's blamed. The robbery was faked and the whole story invented in order to blame Sir Eustace's death on the Randalls. The testimonies and evidence match and point to the Randall gang. Honestly, I think it's a little too convenient for now, but I can always change this. Gullipop, please open the safe. Thank you.
Lady Brackenstall, could you open this wall safe?
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
God damn
We
it.
have to open it. Your ladyship?
Your ladyship can never be that easy. There's nothing else here.
The body is still in the dining room where the murder took place.
Don't know where the dining room is. Oh.
You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
I wouldn't like to dine in here.
The hunting scene?
Yeah, I can tell someone likes hunting. Yeah.
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
A bell rope.
So, Watson, what have you learned from examining Sir Eustace's body?
Well, I can confirm that the death was instant. Sir Eustace was facing his attacker when he received the blow to his head. There are no other apparent injuries.
Head.
The head was cracked with the force of the blow. That must be the murder weapon.
Oh, the poker is like... Is it like the fire thing?
It is covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation. Quite a large stick, a formidable weapon.
I don't want to examine the feet. Oh, here we go.
Barefoot. He had therefore been in bed and
Okay.
did not have time to fully dress.
It wasn't a close-up of the feet, thank God.
A decanter standing next to the open bottle, an inseparable pair indeed. Chateau Calon-Ségur, French wine, Grand Cru.
Oh, no feet zooming. Yeah, sorry to disappoint. But you got a pretty good look on it, right? I think that's enough.
This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing.
God, what the fuck is a bee's wing?
This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing.
Bee's wing. Well,
There is beeswing at the bottom, as if the wine had not been decanted before being poured. It is rather strange that only one of these glasses has dregs of beeswing inside it.
oh
while
yeah,
the other
only
two
two
are clear.
we're drunk of. Yeah, you can just say that. You don't need to be all complicated. Please. Please. Just keep it
A
simple.
fur trader's cabin. A deer hunt.
Hmm.
The hunting scene.
Sad boot.
This candlestick is valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen.
Yeah, they only stole one thing, didn't they? It's almost to just make it quickly look like it was a robbery murder. Robbery gone wrong.
These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France.
These Frenchophiles.
An empty silverware box. It appears that the intruders have stolen the contents.
Why don't you just steal the whole case, though? Isn't that easier? There must be something else.
A bottle of wine is missing here. The
Yeah, the one
criminals
on the
did not
table.
thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware.
Yeah.
Antique hunting weapons.
Oh dear. Even the door is French. French window. It is a cool window though. Well, it looks pretty. Rich people, man. I'm not gonna investigate it yet.
The death was instant.
Yes, bestie. What is the door over there?
This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there.
Okay. Something else. Oh, right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fractured skull, yes, with the poker. Could have been. How's the Sherlock going? It's going fine. An abusive husband was murdered, so I'm not too sad. But this is strange. There were 3 people drinking wine out of these glasses. One of the 3 probably prefers wine with beeswing. There were 2 people drinking wine out of these glasses. The remaining glass with the beeswing consisted solely of the dregs from the other 2 glasses. Me not knowing what beeswing is. Yeah, 3 people. That they all drank wine. I see. And if it's 2 people. Okay. Wee. 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 Good for him. Yeah. Good for the wife. Deadly accident. The death of Sir Eustace could have been due to his accidentally striking his head on a fireplace. Great. The death of Sir Eustace could have been due to a poker blow. Ah, okay. I don't think these are. Yeah. Okay, how am I supposed to know the code?
Let us try to open this safe.
Girl, I don't know any
This
numbers.
safe can be cracked. I only have to pay attention. The dial will vibrate when it is set to the correct number.
Right, I suck at things like that. Yeah. I'll just skip this. I don't have time for that. Sir Eustace, your current physical and mental state is of great concern. There are several signs of hepatic decompensation. The last time that we met, your eyes were bloodshot and your skin was tinged with yellow. There is a particular odor from your breath that is common in those suffering from liver damage. Well, he was a drunkard. Then there are the lung abscesses that we have discussed. The leg cramps you have described to me are caused by an alteration to the nervous system, which in turn is caused by an excess of alcohol. That includes the tremors. Your liver seemed excessively hard at the time of your examination, which is a sign of an evolving cirrhosis. There are also signs of ascites fluid in the peritoneal cavity, which are evident with your swollen stomach. His breath stank. Yeah, what do you expect from an alcoholic? The pain beneath your left rib indicates a pancreatic malady, which may lead to fatal and fulminant pancreatitis. Your condition may pose a risk to others. Oh, no shit. Your excessive alcohol consumption lowers your self-control and heightens your aggression. I am available to help you with this problem. There are a number of treatment options. Yeah, he didn't take those treatments though, did he?
Antique coins, possibly of value, but they're scattered without care. It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It
Yeah.
shouldn't really pose a challenge for a criminal.
Okay. Girl, talk to me.
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
Your ladyship?
So according to her, it was 3 people.
Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behaviour.
Yes, Sir Eustace was an extremely violent man. A detestable human being, to be more precise. It is true that he once threw a decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defence of my mistress. Sly devil. God forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead, but a devil he was, if ever one walked the earth. We met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. Wonder with his title and his money and his false London ways.
London
If she
ways.
made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was specially hard for her.
Okay. Acquainted with a sailor. Lady is acquainted with someone from the Rock of Gibraltar. Lady Brackenstall married Sir Eustace shortly after arriving in England and remained at home during that time. There is little possibility that she or her maid are acquainted with anyone in the country. I mean, yeah, there is that picture, but... Okay, according to Miss Bracken something, this is what happened, according to her. I don't know if I want to believe every word. What else? Teresa probably hired them or something. Honestly. True. Because she probably has to, like, buy groceries and stuff like that, so she would get to go outside. But not really the wife. That is true. But that would be predictable. I think every possibility here is... It's like the classic, you know. The abused wife kills her husband, and, like, people are helping her because they sympathize with her, and she needs to, you know, this dude needs to die, she needs to be saved, basically. Or it's the maid trying to save her mistress. Where's that picture? Do we not have the picture? There. Well, neither of them had anything to say about that. But you have something to say. Okay, reputation.
What do you know about Sir Eustace, Inspector? What was his reputation?
A charming man when sober, but an absolute demon when he was drunk. In such moments he was apparently capable of anything. Why, once he splashed fuel on Lady Brackenstall's dog.
What the
Delight.
fuck?
Another day he threw a decanter of wine at Miss Wright's head.
The alcohol seemed to madden him.
To the point that we were forced to intervene several times to avoid a scandal.
Good? Here's lit a dog on... You know, alcohol doesn't make you evil, it just brings out the things inside of you. She's a real one, yeah. Like, in this game, you have, like, the chance to absolve them or condemn them, and if it is either the wife or the maid, I will absolutely absolve them. I will not condemn them for this. Fuck that guy, oh my god. The crime scene. What crime scene?
This house feels rather sinister. I can't say that I like it here.
Indeed, Watson.
Sailor's knots. That's interesting. This rope was handled by the murderers. We need a scent hound to follow their trail. I will take it with me.
Okay, there we have our sailor connection.
This is the chair that Lady Brackenstall was tied to.
Alright, besties. No. Yes, I think we know that. Not acquainted with a sailor. Still don't know what the B-swing thing means. That's probably it. Right. Analysis. Toby from Baker Street and follow the center. Okay. We go back home and we analyze the rope. Yes. Well, I pour myself some tea. There's no Sherlocking without tea.
Let us see how the rope was cut. The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find
Smoothly.
out what tool was used to cut the rope.
Scissors. Not very smooth.
The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
Cutters.
The fibers from this cut appear to be different.
Yeah. Is there no knife? Yeah.
If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
Sailor background. The rope was cut once with a sharp knife and tied quickly in sailor's knots. That could indicate that the intruder had a sailor's background. Indeed. Toby. Uh, Toby? Why can't I? Oh, there he is. Oh my god.
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case. I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
Okay. Sure. Oh, you get like a little cutscene with Toby.
Search, Toby.
Oh my god. I'm a dog! I love that. Dog simulator. Yes, we got sad. I love how you navigate the dog. That is great. We sniffing that killer.
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware.
Yeah. And you also have first view. Oh. Is there... Do you go back or... Oh, he's actually there. He just opens it like that from a distance. He's a magician. Can I bite his head off? Sherlock jump scare. Open the door for me, servant. Where's my servant? The fuck? Standing man emoji. yeah, we found the shed, but I can't enter. I'm just a dog.
Brave Toby.
Oh
The
my
best
god,
nose
really?
in the British Empire.
Don't make it green.
Brave Toby. The
Okay.
best nose in the British Empire.
Can I... Okay. It's not gate kept. Does Toby have a to-do list? No. Well, there's nothing else. Oh, here's a faint one. That was barely visible through the grass. Dude. You think I can see that? You are gravely mistaken. Oh well.
The scent leads to the well.
Don't tell
I
me
should
the
check it.
silverware is there. Yes, you should check it. So the shed and the well.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder
Yeah,
why they chose
like
such a
why did they go to the
winding
shed?
route.
Alright. Let's check the shed. Fine, since we're already here.
There's something glittering at the bottom there.
It's the
But how can I
silverware.
reach it?
It's the silverware.
If only I had something with which I could lift that object.
Like a rope?
The wheel handle is old and rusty. It seems to be used infrequently.
Okay. Guess we're getting a rope from the shed. And a
This
hook.
hook might be useful. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty.
They're not going anywhere.
Small gardening tools. Nothing of great interest.
Like a rope was already attached. I don't know why I said rope.
Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence.
Hardly, hardly.
The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
Yeah, but why ever would it be in the well? Isn't that interesting? Haha. Robbery is the motive. Robbery is confirmed as the motive for the crime. The criminals may have plans to return for the silverware that they dumped. Imitated robbery. The robbery could have been imitated to explain Sir Eustace's death. The silverware was not supposed to be found. Yeah. Murderous visitor. Sir Eustace was murdered by the one person who was visiting that night. It was he who tied up Lady Brackenstall. He's tall and strong. And then the sailor thing. Look for sailor. And search the archives. You think you can talk to her about having found the silverware and be like, yo, your silverware is in your well? Isn't that strange?
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship?
Huh. Huh. Well, let's go to the archives and look up the photo. The port. Ugh. So 1893. Arrival of the Rock of Gibraltar, a ship returned. The Rock of Gibraltar, a bulk carrier from the Adelaide Southampton London line, Cunard Building, James Street, London, has returned from a 6-month voyage through India, New Zealand, and Australia. The ship brought to England Miss Mary Fraser, the heiress of the Fraser family, owning land and tin mines in Australia. This reportedly beautiful young lady is presently engaged to Sir Eustace Brackenstall, one of the wealthiest gentlemen in Kent. Mary Fraser.
Here it is.
She sounds very unamused. Yeah, it felt like she was like, you know. Oh, that's great! Haha. Oh shit, you found it. You know? Ask for Wiggins.
The shipping company, the Adelaide Southampton London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But
Disguising
I have another
time.
solution. I'll call in the specialist.
No disguising time. Can't even go outside anymore. Bestie.
Watson, I need Wiggins. Is he anywhere nearby?
He's right across the street. You can give him a sign from the window.
Okay. This telescope is like I don't know why it is there. I don't know who is spying on this person. I don't know why. It's just there. God. God, please. Please. Jesus Christ.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
Wiggins, the bestest boy.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893, and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
Young Wiggins.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London Line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th.
Yeah.
This list shows the senior...
Yes. Oh. October. No. No. Oh, it's 1894.
I do not think that this sailor
Oh.
has any...
No,
I do not
this.
think that this sailor has any connection to the case.
Right. It's before that, though. Huh. He's not there, so it's not
I do
him.
not think that...
I do not think.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Oh. You think
I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case.
Yeah, so... maybe I should read all the names, huh? They all have the same fucking names.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
I was only looking at this.
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
Exclamation mark. Ernest Woods, Thomas Walker, Whittington. These are very funny names.
This
Walker.
officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This
And then
officer
this-
is still at sea, therefore he cannot...
Okay.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer is still at sea,
It is the Crocker.
therefore he cannot be involved. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
Yeah.
This Crocker, do you think...
Miss
It would
Crocker.
be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him.
And it's also just very convenient timing since he leaves in a few days.
Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
He's on it.
Mr. Holmes? I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
Let's take a good look at you first. Clear look. Honest. Strong build. A sea knife. Clean boots. Not the fingies. Newspaper ink.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her. From when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... and what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right, if there was no evidence.
What then?
You tied her up.
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
You call that evidence?
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
You. Okay.
What should we do next, Holmes?
I love how he's just chilling by the fire. Captain Crocker. Crocker's alibi. Captain Crocker was aboard the Sharp on the night of the murder. He was not afraid to confront me. He had a confident demeanor. Crocker is lying. His involvement is clear. He appeared as soon as he heard that I was looking for him, thus signaling his guilt. Well, yeah, it's either Tim, with the captain is the killer, or we believe the story that it is, in fact, the three Randalls. Yeah. Captain is the killer, arrest him. Jack Rock is a murderer and you will bring him and his accomplice, Lady Brackenstall, to justice. Absolve him. The murder was committed in self-defense. Jack Rocker defended a woman against a violent and dipsomaniacal man. The mystery is solved, but you decide to keep it secret. There is no need to inform the police. I'll just go with this right now. If it's wrong, we can go back and play the other ending, the other conclusion, but this just makes the most sense to me. And I don't want to arrest them. Like, she just had to get out of that situation, man. Fuck that guy. Honestly. And from your moral choice, yes. View my morals.
Wiggins, could you ask
Judge
Mr.
them.
Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Again, he's so sick of us.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know because of the height
Oh,
at which the rope
gotta
was
sit
cut.
down.
The knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
Here we go.
I admit that I loved
First try.
Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear. And it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
He's going down for her. Oi, oi. Oi, 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 oi. Jesus Christ. I was not ready for this. Dude.
Please forgive me, Captain Crocker. I wished only to test
Say
your
you've done.
sincerity, and your words and deeds have far exceeded my expectations. See here, Captain Crocker, we'll do this in due form of law. You are the prisoner. Watson, you are a British jury. Captain Crocker, the evidence shows that you acted without premeditation and used reasonable force to protect an innocent victim from her husband's brutality. Your devotion pushed you to attempt to kill yourself in order to protect the one you love. Now, what say you, gentlemen of the jury?
Not guilty, my lord.
Vox populi, vox dei. You are acquitted, Captain Crocker. So long as the law does not find some other victim, you are safe from me.
Mr. Holmes.
It is a great responsibility that I take upon myself, but I will give Lestrade an excellent lead, and if he can't avail himself of it, I can do no more. Come back to your lady in a year, and may her future and yours justify us in the judgment which we have pronounced this night. Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
Me sympathizing with like almost every culprit in this game. Like, I think I only condemned one so far. Yes. We did it. Sir Eustace was murdered by Captain Jack Crocker, who was visiting Lady Brackenstall that night. They staged it as a robbery by the Randall gang. Crocker used his sea knife to cut the bell rope to tie the lady and then hid the silverware in the well. Jack Crocker defended the woman against a violent and maniacal man. You have decided to keep it a secret. I have. I indeed have. I'd always love to see the case statistics, but they never finish loading. Commiserative. I don't know what that means, but I think it means that I'm very sympathizing. Yeah, that was the Abbey Grange. Grange? I don't even know why it's called that. I mean, I do know, but it's like... wasn't really... I don't know, it could have been a better name for it. I don't really want to continue, it's like... will be the new case. But that was pretty quick. Like, literally just an hour. What the hell? Let's peek into the next case. See.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
What the
Oh,
fuck?
hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Isn't that great?
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have
I
any
can
case?
see that,
Yes,
yeah.
but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
Oh, they're funny. Yeah, literally, I absolved this. Blind justice, absolve. Yeah. What's the fork is our souvenir. Lovely. Hmm. It doesn't sound very interesting, but I feel like it's gonna turn very interesting. So, I don't really want to stop yet, so let's keep playing case 5. Alright. Let's go. That was a very long ride.
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
He's committed to the bit.
What are we doing, Holmes?
Let us find someone who could help us.
Oh, like 2 steps.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favour for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Why is it so loud all of a sudden? That is so strange. Like for case 4 it was fine, and now it's like a little louder. Turn it down.
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
Miss White.
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were.
From the east and the land of the rising sun.
Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunn, he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry. We were not aware. The 2 of you were good friends?
He
Oh,
was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house.
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the colonial collection.
the
heart
colonial
attack.
collection.
Just like that. So suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand.
And even in the botanical garden, it's just things, flowers and plants from other countries. That's
According to
crazy.
Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead. The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here. The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed.
Well, that was quick.
The esconson was breached near the handle. The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection room.
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. Very strange. Half of the Colonial Collection is absent. The smell is strong. It is a detergent. This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow. A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture. These windows were perfectly cleaned. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned.
What do we have here? Malacca, Calcutta, Sudan, New Zealand, British India.
These plants come from all the territories of the British Empire.
Singapore, Bengal, the Cape Colony. What? Australia. Where? Huh? Am I blind? I don't see anything.
This sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it.
The door, maybe?
Blood. Someone fell violently against this sign,
Oh,
and they were
person.
injured in the clash. Most likely a head wound.
True.
Soil. It should have come from a flower pot. The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here.
He just follows you. Oh, the pot.
This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced. All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all.
No, you don't. Okay. What are you doing? No. Oh.
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder?
Marble fragment picked up from the floor of the Colonial Collection Room. Judging by its form and refinement, it is probably part of a statue or sculpture. The reconstruction of Montagdoon's death reveals a disturbing fact. He splintered the door of the Colonial Collection Room. He was either consumed by panic or the door had been locked. If it was the latter, his death may have been a premeditated murder. It feels more like an accident. Like, or he was trapped in the colonial room. Right, he was forced the door and died in the Waterlily greenhouse. Someone cleaned and emptied out only a part of the colonial collection. This is suspicious. Perhaps it was intended to conceal certain evidence. Perform autopsy. The death is suspicious. Why had he forced the door of the colonial collection room? That is true. Why had someone cleaned and emptied the room? Was it a trap or a simple accident? It does seem suspicious, of course, but just the way he died feels accidental. Do we have to do the autopsy again? Because yes, Sherlock
I asked
does
Inspector
that
Lestrade to take
sometimes
Montague
in
Dunn's
this
body
game.
to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then. It's ready for autopsy then.
Yes. Sir? Down the hole we go.
First of all, let us carry out an external examination.
Hey, sir.
There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the Waterlily greenhouse.
Oh wait, didn't he have, like, a heart attack? Like, if you keep him there away from any meds, if he has any for his heart condition, then I guess it would be murder, and the fact that he slipped and fell to his death is just coincidence.
The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal.
But why there, of all places?
The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma.
You can still smell that?
There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy. Nothing suspicious here. No redness, stings, or bruises. Now, let us examine the internal organs.
Yay, the most fun part. And Watson just whistling as he... Jesus Christ. No. The thought of just... Oh no. Not the lungs.
The lungs are congested and edematous.
Yeah, I know what that means. Oh.
The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant.
Oh. The sound. Oh God.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs.
Okay, so he didn't have a heart condition, I guess, because you would be able to see that.
The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction.
As so many Europeans do.
The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs.
I can't. The sound. The sound. Oh, it kind of looks like a banana. Like a very deformed banana. It's like a little special.
The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs.
Actually grabs the organs inside. Yeah, like you just grab them out and like it's just it's hilarious. Like why?
There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death.
Blech. Blop.
His suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
Mm-hmm.
You mean
Yes, it is murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No, a few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building? I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
As long as he's having fun. Oh dear. I don't think it's the son though, because if he didn't mention that his father died there, they wouldn't have known. And as a British person, what do they call it? An Englishman? As an Englishman, he would know of Sherlock Holmes, and he knew that was Sherlock Holmes. And you don't mention a death of someone in front of Sherlock Holmes if you don't want them to investigate further. So I'm less suspicious of the son. Dunn was poisoned after being trapped in the Colonial Collection Room by the killer. Montague Dunn was affected by inhaling a virulent vegetal poison. Yeah, I guess one of the plants they stole was poisonous. But then the killer must have known that. Right. So we go back. Ooh.
Locked.
He always locks his door. We go back to the gardens. Let's take a look at you. Myopic, inexpensive glasses. I think that's short-sighted. Dirty collar. Card in his hands. Yeah, no shit. Unmarried.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
His heart attack.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression. Great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating.
Celebrating.
He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And?
He had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
To put it
Thank you, Mr.
mildly.
Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Albert. Jesus, dude. Yeah, just a newspaper.
A task list for Albert, compiled by Martin Hamish. Sweep out the palm house, scrub the toilets, clean the storage shed tools.
And why he run like that? I don't know, he's an old man. You know? It's like he's jogging, you know? Gotta keep fit. Like, Watson, please. Do you work here?
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only, for I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Okay. Sure. All the power to you, fella.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
Okay, this is bothering me. I need to look at his chin. Consumed by grief, yeah. Like, I do believe that he is grieving. Shaving. Oh. Okay. Wing. Clean hands.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah. At the moment, I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
He's not doing much gardening work just yet.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the Deputy Director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? Well, that is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
You know, I don't think it's a good way to treat people in general. That only makes Hamish more suspicious. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wanna meet Margaret White, though.
Farmhouse.
Yes, thank you. I can read. Can you walk, please? It's been a while since I've been in one of those. Actually, it's been only a year, but but botanical gardens are always cool, I think. My God.
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building.
I think that's gonna matter.
According to this,
Yes.
What should we do?
No.
water lily greenhouse.
Yeah. He always stares at it for so long before I can move again. Pretty flowers.
Do not touch.
Oh, I'm gonna touch.
The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
Teehee, I touched it.
Here is a list of the stolen plants.
Are we gonna archive them? Yeah. Right, here again.
According to this,
You have it everywhere.
dry tropics.
Ah, I see.
These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for exhibition purposes. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
Curious.
Dry tropics. There is a smell of burning.
Oh, Jesus. That Damn. Broken pot.
The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
But it looks different from the others that we just looked at.
The remains of a picture frame.
Picture frame. A gas mask. As if not to inhale the poisonous plant.
A protective mask.
Pollen, whatever.
Someone set it alight, but it did not burn.
Trying to conceal the evidence, I see.
A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the colonial collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material.
Okay.
A broom handle was half burned.
Burning evidence, yes, a classic.
The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned.
Curious. Is that Margaret?
Look, Holmes, this charming lady must be Miss White. She's entering the seed house.
How do you already have the map memorized? Oh god, okay, so he died here. He was trapped here. But you can only enter from the water lily greenhouse.
Farmhouse. Director. Nest. Sea. Ventilate. Dry trop.
Oh, you are here.
Colonial.
Okay, okay.
A ventilation
Ventilation.
system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
Object of
A
interest.
ventilation.
Yeah.
A water tank.
Take a shower. No. Mm-hmm. What is this? The seed house. Open. Every time you open a door, you just be like, yes. Be as dramatic as you can. Right. Yeah, I gotta get some air in here. Jesus. Hello, girl lady.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir. And good day to you too. But
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr.
My
Sherlock
good
Holmes.
friend.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure
I
to
am
see you here at
him.
Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Let's look at you. Expensive perfume. Okay. No. Unmarried.
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh, yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like no big deal. Of course you forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after
Is
the
it-
tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
So he was nice to you or what?
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Do you work here?
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know someone is
Oopsie
lying.
daisy.
It is obvious.
Yeah. It's quite obvious. Okay, we have a lot to look up in the archives. Let's do that first. Their knees are touching. Is that real, Tiger? Pelt. Is that what you call it? Oh, a letter. Is that from... Is it Mr. Crocker? Oh, dear Mr. Holmes, I finally found the courage to write you a letter. I can scarcely find the words to express my gratitude for your kindness. On that terrible day, I believed my life to be ruined, but at the same time, I realized there to be one person in the world who truly loved me, and who I loved in return. His name we both know. He is Captain Jack Crocker. His love has given me true reason to live. Even if we cannot be together in the end, none of this could have happened without you, Mr. Holmes. Yours sincerely, Mary Brackenstall. Of course. Rare plants. Uh-huh. There we go. These plants have a certain toxicity in common, more or less variable. Only the first 3 can be dangerous to humans, particularly Florium diabolica, but only under very specific conditions. It's gonna have something to do with humidity. No, the plant should react to a process of aggression against which it will issue deadly spores. I know exactly what that means. I'm so good at biology. I definitely know.
Here it is.
Yeah. Bestie. Okay. The symbol. This glove means divine. Dude. How the fuck? Yeah. How? Newspapers, research, reasons, Oh yeah, marks and symbols. Religious Divine Syndicate. The Divine Scholastic Syndicate for Vegetation Veneration. The members of the syndicate worship Trevon, the God King. They strive to obtain spiritual peace and release themselves from the material world. So generous donations are appreciated.
Here it is. The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
And another symbol.
That is not the one I need. That is...
Seymour's Garden. Garden equipment and supplies. We are a premium supplier for all your landscape, gardening, and timber requirements. Full range supply and delivery of sands, soils, mulches, pods, and anything else you may need. 3 Blurton Road, London.
Here it is.
Alright, alright. Okay, the realization of the toxic process is fairly difficult, for it requires a particular chemical fertilizer, natural stimulation, and nutrition. The caterpillars should work. Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom. Alright, I'm back. So, what are we gonna do? Inspect the staff buildings. Find the plant that was used to kill. Right, so... Cleaning lies. None of the employees at Kew Gardens can explain why the colonial collection was partially emptied and cleaned. Someone is not telling the truth. Yeah, the broken pot is the one with the divine Trevin symbol. And then the flower pots in the dry plants section, all from normal suppliers. Yeah. Oh. Right. The deadly plants. Theft and murder. The killers may be those who stole the exotic plants, including the deadly species, from the last exhibition at Kew Gardens. Albert's ambition. After the death of his father, Albert now feels the responsibility to manage Kew Gardens. Yeah, now he does. Oh, there's another map.
Locked.
Ma, what do you have the keys to this?
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before, and now all of a sudden he's trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was?
Oh yes. He forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
What
That
a
must have
lovely
been
father.
terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Maybe she is aware that she's using that to her own advantages, like getting a job there, keeping it, and you know.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Locked.
Everything is locked. Nursery.
Locked.
That's also
Locked.
locked. Yes, I get it.
Nursery.
What are you looking at?
locked.
And can't get in here from this side either.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Keep that open. Fine.
A book about ships. Nothing at all to do with plants. These leather gloves are new and of good quality. They do not appear to have been used. Materials for college study. They belong to Albert. This place serves as Albert's office.
He has a book about ships.
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room.
That is a lot of complicated words.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Thank you, miss.
A pretty name. Seat House is Albert's main workplace. There shouldn't be anything else here. Oh. Albert, where are you? Alright, that's the collection. There he is.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
The director's office. Is that him? There's just something so weird about having a portrait of yourself in your own room. Champagne.
French wine, a remarkable vintage. Champagne. Montague Dunn had good taste.
Champagne is overrated, to be honest. The wine is much better. Oh yeah, I don't. Oh well. Think I know how to do this? May I? I like the normal lockpicking. I haven't done that today. It wasn't a part today, but those kind of things I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. The equivalent of having your own selfie as your phone wallpaper. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. If it's like a group photo and you're in it, or like, you know, it's not just a selfie, then I get it. But if it's literally just you, it's no. It's nice that you can skip puzzles here. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is. It's a lifesaver sometimes. I try to do most of them, but you know, sometimes I'm just not doing some things. You can also skip them in the newer Sherlock Holmes, like chapter 1 and The Awakened. Because I remember like the chemistry ones, oh my god. I did like 2, but that took all my brain cells. I'm just not good at chemistry. I just don't do that. I don't have that kind of brain.
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
Debt of Miss Margaret White to Mr. Montague. Rental of a suite of rooms at Oxford Street. An educational scholarship at the London University. Credits opened at Hamilton, Redigan House Tailors, and at Baird and Sons Luxury Jewelers. Damn. You can't get anything for free. Mr. Dunn, we must ask you for the last time for the return of our dear sisters. You do not have any right to hold them imprisoned. They do not belong to you. Your so-called permissions are wholly false. You're hiding behind lies. The lie, we need not elaborate, that was reported in the press as the case of June 14, 1889. What you have done is quite abhorrent. Be very sure that we shall never abandon our family members. We trusted you and regret having done so. The Divine Syndicate. Damn, okay. We'll look that up on the archives. Who is this? Montague. My dear friend, please allow me to express my disappointment upon reading your last letter. I am paying you to defend me, not to accuse me. Kew Gardens is a royal institution. We are granted the great opportunity to travel the world and to save the most extraordinarily precious and rare species of plant. Our duty is to protect such species and from those who might wish to use them for dubious purpose. This divine syndicate of whom you speak have no right to hold such precious plants. Remember the case of June 14, 1889. So I must respectfully ask you once again to notarize the permissions on these plants and on behalf of Kew Gardens. The documents were sent to you on Monday. See you in Boodles on Tuesday, as always. Oh. He's just standing there.
Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
New plant species, the Kew Gardens team, are pleased to announce the successful production of a new variety of barley, one that retains a complete resistance to the cold. They have named it the Siberian barley. Mr. Martin Hamish, the proud cultivator of the Graff, will hold a press conference next Monday morning upon this very subject. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'll look around more. My dearest Margaret, following our last conversation, I believe it might be better if you vacate your position here at Kew Gardens. As you pointed out quite bluntly, you are no longer in need of my support. You're quite able to stand up for yourself in this world, as you say. Well, I give you back your freedom and wish you nothing but good luck. The breakup. Why is it called the breakup? Oh god.
A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
What should we do?
And that's all in his room. Hello. Oh, a gas mask and stuff. A whole suit.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory. Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops of the substance.
Gold dust. Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
It's Toby. This dog is suddenly getting all the attention.
A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert.
Repeat here. What if they all banded together to kill him? Like, oh no, not chemistry. Everything but chemistry.
Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory.
Yeah.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants to respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
Evidence required. I gotta find the cylinder, I guess.
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
Ah, Watson.
Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals. Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
And one is missing.
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here. Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
I don't care. I'll open it anyway. I can see there. Um, oh. I did not realize this. Hahaha. Wow. Whatever. I'm not patient enough. Open. He's so quirky.
Miss White's locker.
White.
A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Dear Mother and Father, I'm writing this letter with reluctance to ask for your help. My studies and my housing costs have proven to be more expensive than I had anticipated. I fear, therefore, that I may not be able to manage in the long term. I know that we have had our disagreements in the past, but would you be so heartless as to allow your daughter to fail her studies due to lack of money? That's an interesting way to word a request for money to your parents.
Apparently, Miss White is a capable student.
I could tell that. Oh, damn.
These jewels must be worth a small fortune.
And yet she doesn't sell them to get some money.
A vanity purse. It is of high quality. There's even like little jewels there.
Margaret, we were surprised to receive your letter. How could you think to ask us for money after all of these years that have passed since you left and without any thought of us? You have never shared with us any detail of your success at the university, but you choose to do so now? We suppose you must be ashamed of us, for we are not from the same high class as your new friends. Yes, we are modest people, but you should learn to put your family first, as we at home have always done. And none of us ever compromised their reputation, as it appears you have already with your employer, Mr. Dunn. No, Margaret, it is you who makes us feel ashamed, your parents. Interesting. Dear Margaret, I know how your financial troubles are overwhelming you at this present time. Please let me reassure you that I could not permit you to remain in such a dilemma. I was born of a wealthy family. I would consider it an honor if you might accept my help. Your devoted servant, Albert. What do you mean, servant? These two have, an interesting relationship, I guess. Servant.
Albert's Locker.
Construction of yachts.
Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction.
Yeah, that
Albert
is his
Dunn
real
has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea.
That is his real passion that he was not allowed to pursue.
A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
Oh. Sir, it is my regret to inform you that despite your excellent results within our entry examinations, we are unable to invite you into the Royal Navy School. Your father, Mr. Montag Dunn, has expressed his intention to entrust to you the directorship of the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew, and it is clear that he would not release you for an entire year of naval training. Please accept all our best wishes for your future at Kew Gardens. Oh, that feels bad. They all have a pretty good motive.
A picture of Miss White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
He's fanboying. Oh, they seem to get along.
Martin Hamish's locker. Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting. A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
He definitely has the passion and the abilities to be the director.
Father and I, Kew Gardens.
Aww. Who is this? Mr. General Secretary, recent events unfolding at Kew Gardens oblige me to renew my application for the management position. As I have stated already in my previous letters, I believe that no one is better suited for the post. While Mr. Montag Dunn was alive, I understood your reservation to my suggestion. Your reasons were political, and so I was happy to comply. But now that Kew Gardens lie in disorder, how can I stand by and allow it? How can I leave them in the hands of inexperienced people with no motivation? I must urge you to cast your decision as a matter of urgency, so that I may devote myself entirely to the noble task ahead and free my mind from this uncertainty. Oh well, seems like we got all the data on Mr. Dunn. Yo, bestie, wanna chat a little?
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
I was drinking. Jesus. Photograph.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father, so it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
But he wants the credit for his work. No. Oh, there's so many. Jesus. White and Dunn. White's situation. Margaret White's studies and social situation were completely dependent upon Montague Dunn's wealth. Hamish's motive. Martin Hamish had a motive. He believed that he and his father's lives had been ruined by Dunn, who had taken the credit for all of their work. Hamish wished to take over the directorship of Kew Gardens, but he knew that would not be possible with Dunn still alive. Look at those. Miss White and Mr. Dunn had a recent disagreement. Dunn was planning to release Miss White from her position at Kew Gardens. Yeah, I mean, they all have motives. No. The nursery.
Locked.
Yeah, not anymore. Diplomas.
An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish.
Yeah, like he's the one who knows most about plants and everything. I guess that is his workspace.
A glasses case. It is empty.
Then he should close it.
A thesis written by Martin Hamish. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office. This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was directing, but it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens. This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition.
Oh, the window.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
Indeed.
These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
Oh. Done.
It is a bust of Montague Dunn. I am curious if the marble that we found will fit this place. Here it is.
It absolutely does.
The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial Collection Room is what they have in common. The seeds of plant species are stored here. Locked.
Not anymore. And that is the seed house. Yeah, he would have definitely been able to see if he was there. Right, the newspaper. Where are they? Where's Albert again? The pawn house? Oh. Here's this dude. So... Oh, sorry.
There is a bust of Montague Dunn in the nursery.
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
But why in that room in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
Fragment.
It is strange, because I recovered a fragment of the bust inside the Colonial Collection Room.
Really? Oh, well, so I am mistaken. It ought to have been removed during the cleanup. This room is so small.
Do you know who moved it?
I have no idea. Surely Mr. Dunn requested it. Do you have any more questions like this? Because fragments of rock are not my responsibility.
Evidently.
Evidently.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Okay, Albert.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Albert had a motive to kill his father, Montague Dunn. Dunn had thwarted Albert's dream of joining the Royal Navy. By killing his father, Albert could have his revenge, and eventually succeed in his father's place as the director of Kew Gardens. Now, we look up the newspaper article. (1889). Scandal at Divine Syndicate Club. The Divine Syndicate Club, followers of the God King Trevin, situated on 48 Grosvenor Street, Colleton Road, protectors of plants and more particularly trees, are currently the subject of an administrative investigation. The leaders of this organization are suspected of financial malfeasance. It may be that this investigation will lead to charges of judiciary. Meanwhile, many voices have risen high against this inspection, denouncing the state. In fact, this private organization, which has given as its goal the defense and protection of nature, and which incorporates many persons of influence, including political representatives of the opposition party. Yeah.
Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out what they have against Montague Dunn.
I didn't expect I didn't expect us to turn religious.
This place is beautiful, Holmes.
Oh, dang.
Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Let us find someone who could help us.
It is quite beautiful. That's Big Bell. Hello, sir. Guru.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock.
I am exalting the sap. A while can you wait? From the trace of elements and moreover from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore, please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance, do not disturb.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcomed you are. To introduce myself I shall. I am the Green Grand Mystic.
The Green Grand Mystic himself.
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is
Bullshitting on the spot.
advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
Interesting. Tattoo. Yes. Fingertip calluses. Palm injury, acid burn, chemical practice.
We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say, the divine syndicate, glory to the eukaryotic. Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize in sharing of knowledge, are permitted to physically enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom.
Vegetable kingdom?
You must earn it, yes.
Yes.
We visited Kew Gardens, and we found your symbols on their flower pots.
Coincidence, I am thinking. They would scavenge our refuse. It would not surprise me.
It was merely an observation.
Am I ready?
Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our lord, our god king?
Trevin, the God King.
Our god king's name is Trewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Right.
Oh la, good, I like you. Here is the holy key to the wisdom place. Holy
That
donation
was
can you make whenever you
easy.
Thank you so much.
I pray you to taste our fertilizer substance. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course.
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation. A fragment of a flower pot. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. The Kew Gardens symbol.
Okay. Can I ring the bell? Aww. Whoever are you? Drugs
That
table.
should be the raw sap that the Green Grand Mystic spoke of. It is rather delicious, and of an excellent quality.
My word, Holmes. Their sap is like a form of cocaine.
I just ate it. He literally just ate it. Oh my god. Dude. Yes.
The list of plant friends and benefactors, lawyers, well-known manufacturers, political leaders.
Sure is a lot of people.
This door is locked, but I can try to open it.
Yeah, I'm trying. The fuck? I cannot be bothered right now.
This must be Trewan, the Divine Syndicate's god.
Damn.
You came to make a donation? Glory to Trewan!
Sure. Sure, buddy, sure. Oh, that looks cool, though. Oh, caterpillars.
Caterpillars. They are raised as food for certain plants. Let's take them.
Yeah, let's just steal all of the caterpillars. Jesus. Definitely not, they won't know. They won't know.
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest.
It looks cool.
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant.
Can you say something else?
These 3 plants are identical to the ones shown at the exhibition. I shall take them.
Are you just gonna take... You just... Okay. And these probably just nothing of interest.
Plant. A tropical.
Yeah. The one on the right looks nice though. Do not touch. I won't, actually. Is there a duck in here?
These instruments are used for smoking opium.
Lovely.
This cabinet is full of chemicals. They are the same as the ones we found in the laboratory at Kew Gardens. That would be enough to perform the most difficult of chemical experiments. A vast amount of opium.
Okay. Talk to this guy again. Yeah.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Oops.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search. Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago, and we believe the pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said.
Dump.
He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his green fly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you
okay.
stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find our 3 plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
I see.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
Partial theft. The Divine Syndicate stole all but the deadly plants from the exhibition. The sect stole everything. The Divine Syndicate stole all plants from the exhibition, including the deadly species. They could have used them in order to murder Montague Dunn. Man, this dude had so many enemies, so many people with motive to kill him. It's crazy. I'll choose to believe for now, anyway. There's those 3 plants that we got there, though. Carnivores in Abbey Diabolica. Carnivores in Abbey Diabolica. They are among them. But can you see the names of the plants they have there? If that is the plants that they stole. Because they would have plants of their own as well. Oh wait, that's the caterpillars that you got. The Muscipula Rafflesia arnoldi. I don't think they were on the list. Yeah. There is the Muscipula Adenium bonsai. There's something about that. Or not. Okay. No, these are their own. I feel like they should be here though. Because I don't think they would steal the plants just to steal them and then not take care of them. Doesn't seem right. Okay, use Toby to track the strange scent from the laboratory. So we fetch Toby again. Our little hero, please. Solve this case for us.
This green grand mystic fellow seems rather suspicious, Holmes. What should we do next, Holmes?
Exactly that. That's what we're doing now.
Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens. Oh dear, Toby. I wasn't aware that you were Watson's new literary agent.
The laboratory. Where was that again? Yeah, the ride to Kew Gardens is always very long. Takes longer.
Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search.
Right, there it was. Sir? Toby. He has very long ears. I'm not familiar with dogs in general. Hidden place. Sniff. Oh, he's doing it.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found.
Ah.
This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes, a tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle. Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
A good boy. Now we perform an analysis back home.
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis. This is the bottle that we found hidden.
Right, pipette.
A colorless, water-based liquid. Quite a strong floral aroma.
Taste? Why would you taste it?
Holmes? What are you doing?
It
What?
has a bitter taste.
Gulliver?
It's poisonous.
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor nearby.
So what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens.
He really just... He places so much trust and faith in Watson, it's actually crazy. That's the second time in this game that he's done risky things like that.
Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you. I need to take a pipette.
I always forget the pet. Oh, red.
Red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
Set up the experiment. Set up all the alkaloid from a chemical laboratory in the caterpillars and perform the experiment with the deadly plants. We can finally do the experiment.
According to the deadly plants information, in order to perform our experiment, we will need fertilizer and food. Caterpillars should do nicely. According to the deadly plants information, in order...
It don't have fertilizer?
This green grand... What should we do next, Holmes?
Well, we have the plants, caterpillars. I guess we don't have the fertilizer. Can't we just get one? There should be fertilizer there. This case is so much longer than the other one. Holy shit. Like, some are much shorter and longer than the other ones. I guess he won't tell us anything, but...
Follow my path, and better you will feel.
Okay. Sure. Was it here? No, we're not smoking opium.
This substance is an alkaloid.
Right,
The same
okay.
as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment.
Can we just do it here? No? God damn it. It's right there though. Aww. Fine. No experiments. He's still at it.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask. A prickly plant.
Very prickly. Oh.
My word. It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it with a pin. I imagined that its reaction would be ferocious if I increased the strength of my attack.
I don't think we should do that.
My.
Yeah. This is actually kind of fun. Oh no!
It appears to have fallen inactive after being disturbed.
That's crazy.
No reaction.
The fuck? What do you mean no reaction?
No reaction.
Damn, okay. Good quality.
This.
Oh.
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid.
Mm-hmm.
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched.
What about this?
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
Interesting. Not this. Oh dear.
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
It was a complex process to prepare the deadly plants. The plant combination had to be placed close by the victim and triggered at the precise moment. Sect scheme. The Divine Syndicate left the plants at Kew Gardens in order to murder Montag Dunn at a later date. The sect is not involved. Someone stole the deadly plants before the Divine Syndicate were able to. I'll go with the sect is not involved. For now. Alright. This will probably be the last spot that we travel to. I already know I'm gonna get the first conclusion wrong. There's just so many suspects, and everyone has a pretty good reason to murder him. Hello.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
It's interesting that we only asked them about that just now, like at the very end.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. These Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh my God.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Okay. And she's at the seed house, wherever that is. Should be right there, I think.
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
I do think she's pretty suspicious.
And that was the last time you saw him?
I mean, all of them
Yes.
are, but...
I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Thank you, miss.
Yeah.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
The way is clear. Okay.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
If I remember where it was. Oh my god. Okay, just straight ahead. Wait, that's the laboratory, right?
Here it is.
20.
Cylinder records.
Yeah.
These plants, classified as shrubs or grasses, have adapted to their arid environment due to a system of underground roots.
This recording seems very long. It is unnecessary to listen to all of it. Miss White was in the laboratory, as she told us.
Okay. Uh-huh. Then I would argue it is the dude. The Martin Hamish guy. I mean, he also lied about this. I don't think he doesn't know. Right, the smoke. Such a long way.
First of all, I need to visit the Colonial Collection Room to see how those caterpillars dropped onto the deadly plants.
For fuck's sake. Oh my god. Right, right. Of course.
Farmhouse.
Yes, God, I know. I definitely did not take the best way there. But it's fine.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
Done. You can see it from over there. Okay, I guess not right now. Okay, I don't know if there's a better pathing.
Nursery.
Yes, go in, sir. Lollipop, please.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
You can see the ventilation.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
Okay.
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
What does that handle though? I guess nothing.
The power is on. The engine cannot be started. The engine has started.
Oh. Okay.
The power is on. The ventilation system is working.
Sure. Should he really be standing right under it, though?
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans from Mr. Hamish's and Albert's space.
Yeah, I finished case 4 in after an hour, and case 5 is pretty long. Also, this map is so big. Let's follow the ventilation system. It's the other
According
side.
to this,
Yes, I know. Oh my god. Please. Sir, please. Can you walk? Oh my god. It's black and white now.
excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one. From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room.
Did I miss one? Yes, I did. This is needlessly complicated. But if I just followed this from the beginning, I guess.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
Well, I tried to pull the lever, but I couldn't.
Perfect. Now I just
Now I
need to find
can.
Watson to check the result.
Now I can. You can't do that
works
one
perfectly,
first.
Holmes. Bravo.
Okay.
Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
Exactly. Deadly precision. Hamish had the opportunity to simulate the deadly plants in the Colonial Collection Room. As a biologist, he would have understood the technicality of how to do this. Hamish is guilty. He could be the killer. He had the opportunity to steal the Divine Syndicate's plans and stimulate them from his workplace directly after he had locked Montague Dunn inside the Colonial Collection Room. Arrest Martin Hamish. Yeah.
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
Also, why did he just stand right under the caterpillar ventilation? Like he knew that they would come out of there. A little silly. Ah, John.
Locked.
Right.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
I knew it.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you.
I'm sure you did.
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry. Martin Hamish...
Okay. Oh.
Holmes, my God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
What the fuck? Girl. In front of the plants?
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
Life has become a living hell. I find it unbearable. Dunn deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having his blood upon my hands. We Hamishes seem to have always fallen victim to our circumstance, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I shall do so here and now. Farewell. Damn. Okay.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Hamish acted alone. Hamish was unable to run due to the tibial torsion on his club foot. Therefore, we should find out if he had sufficient time to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room and activate the ventilation system. Did he have an accomplice? Right. Talk to Lestrade. Damn, this case is long. Oh my god.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr.
Yeah.
Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
I did not play that yet.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Let us analyze the facts and statements
Oh, Jesus
so that we may
Christ.
recreate the events of that morning.
Jesus, man, Jesus. At 9:30. "20 minutes to 10. When Hamish and Montague Dunn went out to the backyard. After 10 minutes, Dunn recommended his inspection and entered the dry tropics room. Hamish returned to the seed house. Oh, it was here. Martin Hamish had a conversation with Miss White at 10 o'clock. Miss White was in the laboratory until 10:40, when she saw Hamish and Albert in the water lily greenhouse and joined them there. 10:40. Hamish ran to Albert as soon as he observed that Montague Dunn was unwell, which was at around 10:30. Albert was in the seed house the entire morning. He observed Hamish returning from visiting Miss White at 10 minutes past 10.
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time. Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
Damn. White is not involved. Hamish and White are not accomplices. It is unlikely that White would have had the opportunity, and 20 minutes would not have been enough to lock the... Bullshit. Miss White had 20 minutes. It would have been enough to trap Dunn. She could have locked the door and alerted Martin Hamish to activate the ventilation system. I'm leaning towards it was White. Because also he seems to like her much more than Albert. I don't know if he would take the fall for Albert and if he would even conspire with him to murder him. I don't know. And then we have Albert and Hamish. I think he's not involved. White is an accomplice. Her professional ambition and personal situation had been damaged by the breakup with Dunn. Condemn Miss White. Miss White is a dangerous woman very capable of carrying out an elaborate murder for monetary gain. She flirted with Dunn's son Albert and later pushed Martin Hamish to his suicide. She deserves the rope. Oh Jesus. Absolve Miss White. Miss White is a desperate woman in debt, resigned to consorting with wealthy gentlemen. When Dunn cast her aside, she killed him in desperation. Hamish tried to save her. She deserves a second chance. The thing is, I don't agree with the death penalty. I don't think she deserves the rope, but I don't know if she deserves to be absolved. I'll condemn her. She doesn't deserve to die, but I wonder if that's correct. Like, if she was actually the accomplice or not.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining, the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over? Perhaps. One moment you wait.
The other side. No! Stop!
Of course. I skipped it accidentally.
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Oops. Well, it worked.
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just
I
say
just
to
clicked
me?
the circle as soon as I saw it. Let's see. It is correct. Yeah. It's kind of funny though, like, she's gonna get the death penalty and you just saved her from committing suicide, but then she's gonna die anyway. Anyway. I'll accept my decision. And that is it for today. Much longer than I thought. Damn, almost 4 hours, Jesus. I didn't expect the second case to be that long. But yeah. I got both cases right. Both culprits. Or was it 3? Since she was an accomplice. Well, thank you for joining me today. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.